Okay, guys, I wanted to talk about one of the coolest small towns in America. Right there outside of Portland, Oregon. It's called Astoria, Oregon. Astoria is it's just a cool town. And there's a lot of history in it. It really is. It's not even on the list of the 50 coolest small towns in America. Which that list is probably hyped, if I were to guess, based on, I don't know, advertising or something. It's hard to say. You just don't know. But it's pretty cool. It really is. A lot of people had told me I had to go there. It was an RV channel out that called We're the Russos. You've probably followed them. They've been there, did a really cool video on it, and there's some cool things about it. It really is. I've been there twice, and I want to go back again because I really want to go up into the hills and I want to see that town more. I really want to explore that town more. I really do. Um, it's a maritime community. It's right there on the point, uh, just before you go over the river into this Washington state. Um, it's where bumblebee tuna originated. If you know bumblebee tuna, uh, tuna in a can. They don't operate out of there anymore, but there's a museum there right at the docks. There's a real cool coffee shop where you could eat breakfast there and some restaurants on that waterfront. And you'll see images of that here, and it really is cool. The bridge itself, it wasn't there until I guess maybe late 60s or something, 70s. They had a toll on it for a while, and it's gone now. They got rid of it because, well, the toll paid for it. It really did. But the cool thing is, in the town they have this trolley that goes from one end of town to the other down the river, and the volunteers on it will give you a story, a really good history on Astoria, how it began, a little bit about the maritime community, and it's just a beautiful view. And if you keep going under the bridge and it veers left, you go over the river on the inland there, and it takes you to another community. Pardon me for my forgetting the name of it, but you'll get over there where Fort Stevens State Park is. And just there's some RV parks over there. You can go over that bridge to the Washington side for you RVers and van lifers. If you want somewhere free to stay for the night, you go over that bridge and you take a right when it dead ends. There's a rest area right there. You have to kind of get there a little early, reserve your place, but you can stay over there. Everybody does it, and it really isn't a problem. Now, there is a couple places in Astoria you can park on the street side carefully. It's a small town. There's not a lot of rush hour traffic. If you're respecting and your vehicle doesn't stick out as something odd, they're not going to say anything to you. They really don't. People do it all the time. They really do. So um, it's just so cool here. It really is. Now, as you can see here, sorry about the shakiness of my camera. I didn't have a gimbal. It was, I guess, my start of getting an idea whether I wanted to do something for YouTube. These are old videos, but anyway, and I have other images that I don't have here. I have packed away of some of the other stuff in Astoria, but it's something for you to see. But right here, you see me. I was in the middle, right there. This is the point where the coffee shop is, right out to your left there. And back behind me is inside where all the whole setup and exhibit for the bumblebee tuna, and it really is cool. And you'll see images here in just a second of a lot of that. Um, and that just goes on down to the point and it goes back to the left. You park on the street, and you can park by that, but they probably tell you to park on the street and kind of walk up because a lot of cars, people that work there, come over the dock. So they don't discourage it, but they don't encourage it. So it's kind of, no one really says anything, but they tell you it's probably best just to park up on the street. And you don't have to pay to park. I mean, there are some streets there that you probably have to pay a meter in Astoria. In fact, there was one I did. But other than that, the view is just absolutely beautiful. You can see the ships out there, and it'll show a shot to the bridge. That's your parking lot area right there I was talking about. Right there in the center is where you go in there, and there's the Bumblebee Tuna exhibit. You get some restaurants and coffee shops, and they're all down the wharf, man, all down Astoria. And there's images here. You'll see if there's the ships in the water. That's absolutely beautiful. Other side, you're looking at the Washington side over there. It's Washington State, and there's your bridge off in the distance with the ships. Um, it's a viable shipping port. It really is. A lot of stuff that goes. They ship in the channels into Portland. They ship it over the seas, overseas and such. There's your bridge. Now you see me messing with the camera, but I'm inside. Some of these old boats are, and there's a history to tell you the story a little bit about this. And uh, I didn't really go in and ask a lot about it. There wasn't really anybody standing around like a tour guide. But back off in there, there's little gift shops and stores, and you got restrooms right there. Your coffee shop is right there. You're looking at straight ahead. And then over there, some offices. They have some offices for things. There are businesses in this building, but it's a very historic building. It's pretty fascinating, and we'll walk back here in a second because after I'm done showing you these signs, you'll see a room, and it has old pictures and a lot of the stuff, of the tools and stuff they used to use to clean the fish, the tuna. And I'm not for certain if they really canned it here. Of course, the cannery today is elsewhere. Another company owns them. It may have been a cannery here, and I think actually there might have been. It'll show a picture of it in a second, but this is a part of, you got to go see this to learn more about it, and you'll know. I've often said that I'm not the greatest storyteller or historian, but I did want to just show some of these images and talk about it a little bit, because this is the coolest, probably the coolest small town I think I've ever been to. And I want to go back and go to the backside and drive through up the hills and see it more. There's so much to see. There really is. It really is a cool town. Indeed, it is. You see right there, crab, salmon. It wasn't just tuna. It was a lot of things they canned and caught. Just a big maritime community. You can see the cans there, and I believe it's this facility, they canned it too, so they really did. Very cool indeed. As you can see, this is one of the bus stops for the trolley. I say bus stops, my bad. Trolley stops. It just runs the length on the wharf of the town, and it really is cool. And in a second, you'll hear some audio of the guy talking a little bit about the tour. Sorry about the shakiness of my camera. Again, like I said, no gimbal and no thought of how stable I should have kept that camera, but I didn't know if they were not allowing filming or anything, so I had to be real careful on that deal as well. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't care, but just had to be careful. I didn't want to tick anybody off on that deal, but this is definitely something. I think it's like $1 or $2 to get on this trolley.
Trolley turned around. This Pier 39, I was telling you a bit about there. Some of you folks just came back from there, but the Rogue restaurants on the left side, you can get burgers and fries and local pub stuff. The Rogue Brewery is actually one of the microbreweries out here. The far side there is that ferry boat, and that's one of the last ferry boats that was in operation to complete Highway 101. They had to build this bridge. Highway 101 starts way down near the Mexican border, and you could drive all the way through California and Oregon and get all the way up to this point. It's the only place in 101 where you had to get off the highway, basically, and get on a boat to go across the river and back on the highway all the way back up towards the Canadian border. So in 1962, they decided they needed a bridge. They took 4 years to build it, and we'll discuss that a little bit as we go the other direction. But this is the last ferry boat that was in use. And you can see, looking at that boat, not really a very large boat. And so if you came up in the middle of...
As you can tell, I think that guy tells a better story than me. He's had a little practice. Like I say, the money you pay on there's $1 or $2 goes to donate to the upkeep of this thing. It's all volunteer based, and it took them a long time to get these trains approved and done and some funding for it. And they tell a story. There's still more they're wanting to do, and in time they'll probably get it done. Indeed. Now, as of now, I'm standing at where one of the beaches are at Fort Stevens State Park. This is really cool too, and a really nice day. It's beautiful. It really is. It's peaceful and quiet. There's a bathroom in the background. And I'm talking, but just babbling quietly, but the wind was so bad and the audio wasn't that great, so that is not something I want to blow your ears out with. I'm an audio engineer, but somehow my engineering skills trying to edit on this video program, basically I'm using iMovie, isn't cutting it. I may get the audio out of here and process it in my studio. It'll be a lot better, but like I say, video editing is not my forte. I'm an audio engineer or producer. I've been doing this for many years. I compose music for film and TV, and that's where I shine. That's just my thing. But anyway, Fort Stevens State Park was pretty cool. They've got campgrounds, a lot of places, and I didn't hit like every corner of it. There's a lot of beaches and places you can stop and hang out for the day. You can camp out there. They've got a lot of nice facilities, and there's other things you can explore and see too. Over that area, KOA's got a campground over there, and there's a couple of local RV parks. I stayed at one actually the night before I stayed at Fort Stevens. I was in my RV and I wasn't sure about staying over the bridge if I could get a spot. And I was a little nervous about that, but knowing what I know now, even with the van or something else, I wouldn't have a problem with that. So it's all good. Now, I don't have my images from when I toured some of the other things, but I will tell you that there's some other cool things about Astoria that you may not know, and then you may know. If you're an 80s kid like I was, The Goonies was filmed in Astoria. Remember that movie? The Shining was filmed there. Pacific Heights and several other films. And right in town where there's an old jail, they've got a museum of all the stuff, the props from that movie and about the Goonies. The Jeep that was in the Goonies is in there. There's the house they filmed at. A lot of people were trying to walk up to the Goonie house, and the town and the people there pretty much said, do not do it. Don't go near it. If you get on the internet, you'll see images and video of it, people doing that. Now, in the film museum they have there's props and stuff from some of the other movies as well. It's some really cool stuff that's worth going to see as well. But in town there, they got a lot of shops, a lot of cool stuff and restaurants along the street that you can check out and stuff. Just be careful when you're driving through the center of town, Astoria, because there's a split road. In other words, if you're coming from the bridge going back to town, you'll be going one way along one way, and all of a sudden, if you don't turn right, you're going head on with traffic. So it goes around, it's kind of divided. There's buildings between one way and the other, so and easy to catch on when you do it. It's not that big of a deal, but like I was saying, from right there, street level from that main drag, there's hills that go up pretty good distance up into the town, and there's neighborhoods, and I really want to drive up there and go explore that next time I go. But the Goonie house, I have no clue where that's at. I think it's at the point over there near the bridge somewhere, because you see that bridge in the film and some other stuff. But like I say, they won't let you near it. There's signs that says don't walk up to the Goonie house. You know, they just, it got pretty old for the people who lived there and owned it, and they just didn't feel like dealing with it. They really didn't. But anyway, listen, I think Astoria, Oregon is so cool, and it's really something you guys need to go see. I don't know, it's just something about it. Now, I will tell you, there is 2 ways you could go there and back from Portland. Now, when you come out of Portland, you take 5 up through Vancouver, Washington. Just right out of Vancouver, there's an exit you'll take, and you'll take a left. It'll take you under the interstate and another left to a bridge. It takes you up, and you're on that highway for about an hour in Astoria. And another cool way to go back home is to go down the Pacific Coast Highway, and there's a highway goes through like a national forest, through some redwoods, and there's places you can stop. It'll take you back down the mountain, back into the southwest corner of Portland, and it's really cool because it's just so much scenery, a lot of redwoods. It's a forest, beautiful overlooks, but you'll go through the Christmas tree farms if you want to know where a lot of your Christmas trees came from. Well, some of them came out there. There's a lot of fields that are growing a lot of agriculture. Christmas trees are one of them. Big market out there. But it was a pretty good drive, just something different. Something else I want to do eventually is I want to go down the Pacific Coast Highway all the way down from up near Seattle down to the Southern California. They say it's a beautiful drive. When I took a train across country a few years ago, I was going to take another leg back down to Los Angeles, take that train ride. It was about a day and a half to 2 day train ride. And I just didn't do it with Amtrak. But you know, they say it's really cool. And there's a section of California, and I lived down in Los Angeles for a year in music school years ago, and I go out there in business, but I'm not real keen on California. But up in Northern California, there's a highway that takes you through redwoods. It's almost like going through a tunnel of redwoods in a forest. It's so beautiful. Jared Tachi talks about it, so it is really, really cool. That it is. Well, anyway, I just wanted to get on. I wanted to talk a little bit about it. I had some of this footage of Astoria, and I thought it was real cool. And it's just, some of the places I've been to. I didn't really videotape and document every place that I've been to, and I need to probably do that more. But there's some other things I've got that I'll probably post, talk a little bit about. But other than that, man, Astoria is a cool town. That's just one thing. And Portland's Portland. It has its problems, but there's some corners of Portland that are nice areas. Not my thing to live there. It's just they've got issues, and it's so expensive to live there. But the winters can be pretty tough. But other than that, when I stayed there, I was at the Columbia River RV Park, and that was a really nice RV park. It's right there near the airport on the river, and really nice area, it seemed like. But when you got in the outskirts of it, real close, it was some pretty seedy areas where it was just sad. I mean, Portland could do a better job of that. There was drug needles on the sidewalk and trash all down the interstates. I mean, they could do a lot better job than that. They really could. But anyway, I didn't get on to trash Portland. That just was an added note. The thing is I just wanted to showcase a little bit of where I visited. And it's really something you should see at least once. And I'm going to try to post more of this, some of the older stuff that I've hit. And as always, what I do in the future. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next video. Be cool. Bye.